Hello everyone, CrystalFissure here, and today is the first episode of ISGP Talk, International Spyro Grand Prix Talk. It's a talk show, it's an interview show where your favorite host is going to interview someone as part of the tournament and maybe even potentially people outside of the tournament to get their questions and get their answers about all things ISGP, how they've been going, how they found out about the tournament, and just their general thoughts about it. Today, joining me is everyone's favorite lesbian gamer grill, Noel McDavid. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
I'm feeling like a bit of a Jimmy Kimmel here, but hopefully a bit better looking. But yeah, anyway, we shall get straight onto this. Let's just go straight in with the questions because I'm very unprofessional and do not structure things well at all, as you probably found out by now. So we're a perfect fit in this regard.
Yes.
All right, so I'll start off by saying, how did you find out about the tournament and what made you want to enter the tournament as well?
Okay, so by what I recall, I remember waking up in the morning, and one of the first things I do sometimes is just like get on my laptop, you know, and whatnot, and I checked YouTube, and I got notifications for your uploads, and I saw that there's like this announcement or something, and I was like, okay. So I watched it, and I was like, this would be really fun, because like, I believe at the time that the Reignited trilogy was not announced, correct?
That's correct. It was about 1 week before the announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it was like we had all these hints, but then my heart just wasn't gonna like make myself believe that it was happening, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, all the Spyro stuff, you know, this would be really cool. And like, I didn't expect to get in at all, but I was like, you know, it can't hurt to like try. So I was like, why not? Because what really sold me on it was that you said, you know, hey, amateurs are welcome, because I'd never done speedruns in my life, you know, not even like for fun. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not going to be the only newbie if I do get in for some like strange reason.
That's right.
So yeah.
And I think that's good. I mean, that's what we tried to encourage from day one, is like getting all these new people join, because as you guys may know, you know, referencing you know, the past, some of the old I'm A Speedrunner tournaments we did, is that, you know, everyone had to start somewhere. Like when I first did my first speedrun, I think I was 13 years old. It was like the end of 2009. It was the first IAS tournament, and if they weren't as accessible as they were to when we started our tournament, you know, no one new would join. We wouldn't have people like you and all the other, you know, nice people that have joined that are newbies. So I think it's really good that that we're sort of portraying it for, you know, both experts but also newbies as well. Definitely,
yeah, absolutely. I know that how I found out that I got in. Actually, I think you had responded to one of my older. It wasn't an old comment, but it was like a few weeks. Yeah, I believe, because I had said something along the lines of like how your videos had helped me through like a really dark.
That's right. Yes.
Time.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I saw that you replied to it. I was like, oh, that's really nice of him. And I like opened it, and it was like, oh, by the way, you got into the tournament. And I was like, what? Like, this is wicked crazy. Like, this is awesome. So I like ran outside and told my mom, I was like, I'm going to be in a Spyro tournament. Like, Spyro the Dragon. Yeah, I was hyped.
Always love it when people tell their parents and stuff, and their parents get invested and stuff like that. Like I remember, I'm pretty sure like my mum's entire work knows about like the speedruns I've used to do. Like she would just call any YouTube I did speedruns though. Almost she'd just almost get mixed up. She'd be like, oh yeah, Andrew's just doing a speedrun. Where I'm like, no, I'm just recording a let's play. But what's the point in telling the difference, you know? But
yeah, they're trying. They're doing
exactly. They're doing something. So how have you found Group C so far? So for anyone who doesn't know, Noel and I are in the same group. We're both in Group C, which is, I believe, in terms of record-breaking things, it is the only group in history to have, I believe, 3 women in the same group. So our tournaments are very, very notoriously male skewing, but here we've bucked the trend a little bit. So you're breaking history. Breaking history, Jesus. So,
making it, maybe breaking it. Yeah. I mean, you know, depends on how savage I become. No, I'm kidding. I'm a softie. But so Group C has been like, honestly, one of the best things about this entire year to me. And I would say that the tournament as a whole has, but like specifically because of who I'm in this group with, I think it's just been it's been phenomenal. I mean, we've gotten super tight. I've made like people that I consider super close friends. I mean, I talk to them daily, you know. So it's been great. You know, going into it, I thought, you know, I'm not really competitive, so, you know, I wasn't too worried about confrontation or anything, but I also was like, oh, you know, this will be real serious. Maybe, you know, maybe I'm gonna like look like a, I don't, this is kind of silly because I don't take it seriously enough. And then it ends up that like me and Ashley, for example, will just be like, no, you're better. No, you're better. So it's been like, we're like cheering each other on, you know, when we race people, and it's just like everybody's happy for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who wins because like we're all supporting each other. We're like a family or something. So no, that's
exactly right. And and I think everyone, I feel not everyone in the group has had a win yet, but there's been some, overall I think there's been some excellent races. In fact, most races have been, I think, quite good. If all of them have had at least something entertaining about them. So that's what's good to be. And your matches in particular, of course, very, very exciting. Before we get to some of that other stuff, I'll just might as well ask what some of your favorite races have been so far. We'll talk a bit more about the rematches after, but any favorite races so far, for either from you and also some other stuff you may have seen?
Yeah, okay. So for sure on mine, first of all, was obviously our photo finish match that we had to rematch, because that was just, well, you know, you were there. Yeah, I was. But that was just amazing. It was just funny because we had no idea what the result was, obviously, till the footage was out. So I didn't really like know anything, and I like woke up before class and it was like there's this giant debate, and then I'm in like class like while everyone's like arguing. Oh, not arguing, but like people are like, wait, I think she won, no, I think he won, and I was like, oh. Wow. So that obviously, and I still think like just watching that is just fun because
it's so good.
It's just I think it'll like go down in history for sure. But
it does, and it also was good though because it did establish a rule that we hadn't considered, is that what counts as the animation of collecting a dragon. So if anything, it did have a purpose, you know, like because technically by the rules I believe set now, it's that you would have definitively won that. But, you know, again, for a bit of history, back in the day we used to have draw times, which means that race would have definitely be redone anyway. But because I guess it was within a second, and I guess we were sort of high on the whole hype of it all, we're like, okay, we'll do a rematch. But we'll talk a bit more about that after. You also wanted, I know that you wanted to talk, you of course would be remiss if you didn't talk about you versus Alice, which was just another, that match was fantastic.
That was fabulous. So a little backstory on that for those who don't know. I'm gonna admit this about myself. I did not know how to do those skips that we did in that race. So the like when you skip in Glimmer and the crush skip, I believe. Yeah. So Alice actually like because she's wonderful and amazing. She was like, "Hey, I'll teach you those, and if you can't do them, we won't use them, but like it would be a lot easier if we do, so let's see if you can do them," right? So she did, and like I learned them pretty quick. I was kind of proud of myself, and she like obviously was very kind to allow me to practice them and make sure I like got them down. And you know, obviously, as everyone could see, I struggled with the door part. That was took me about like 20 tries, but it was just interesting how that worked out, because it's like we both screwed up at different parts, so it ended up being very close. And then we also both screwed up in the ending when we were circling around for the skill point at different parts. And it was just, I don't think either of us expected it to be like that type of close, you know, because
especially because then Alice missed the lap and she had to redo
going
the lap.
Over.
That was just beautiful. That was just too funny. Like that was what began as well. What began what I'm gonna coin Alice luck. And it was just like Alice's run. Like I've got to interview her just so we can find out more about some of her colossal mistakes, because they are just glorious. And that was like the first time where I was like, Alice, no, what have you done? Like your victory was yours. And then you caught up, did the other lap, got it perfectly, and it was just fantastic. So highly recommend that one.
Oh, it was great.
Even you versus Ashley as well was another good one I enjoyed. I mean, even though in that one it was not as close, I thought the commentary was really good.
I was surprised. That makes me happy. I'm glad because I kind of just I was highly disappointed in myself for that because it could have been closer had I been better at the square challenge. It's funny because I practiced that right before and got it first try, and then I was like, I don't remember the pattern.
Isn't it jumping on the 4 corners? Isn't that what it's meant to be, right? It's just...
I believe so. Yeah, it's like a little like trick, and if you like don't do that, and then it just messes the whole thing up, and then you're like, what do I do? And so I had a little bit of like stage fright with that one, but the commentary is great because it was me, Max, Alice, and Ashley, which were just like
Max who? You could not even hear the guy.
Yeah, I know. And then he actually said something, I won't repeat it, but like super like just like gruesomely inappropriate.
Something super Max-esque. Classic Max, yeah.
And I love how it's silent and you can't hear him, and then it's like me and Alice just being like, Max, and then Ashley's like, oh, and because it leaves the crowd wondering like, what did he say? And you'll never find out because I'm not telling.
Now I want to know. So now I'm gonna be in your DMs like, tell me. Well, we may let you in on the secret. Oh, okay, good. I'm in on the inside joke. Perfect. So. Not only have you rematched me, you've also rematched Wally, Wally1, who is an absolute beast at the Spyro 3 games. Spyro games. He is fantastic, and he's been into a lot of great races as well. But what was the other rematch you've done? You also rematched Max, right? That was... I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Now, was the original one of that going up though? I don't think it is though, isn't it? It's just going straight to the rematch, right? I believe so because I don't remember exactly why. I think it has something to do with Max and the audio misplacement, possibly. Yeah, that's right. I think that's why we rematched, I believe. But that's interesting. So I can't. If you want me to talk about the first match, I can. Yeah. Go ahead. It's not going to be a thing. So we did the same match that will end up being posted, but I actually did colossally horrible on that match, so I'm not mad that it's scrapped. I'm not gonna lie. I told Max, I was like, I'm not really mad that you misplaced the audio because I did really bad. And so that's one thing as well, is like, with the audio and stuff like that, is that traditionally, like, if this was a more super strict tournament and stuff like that, we would just be like, all right, just upload it without the audio or whatever. But a massive part of the speedruns is the Discord, Skype call, whatever you want to call them, and that also, I think that's a testament to this Group C in particular, as specifically the sportsmanship going on in the groups as well, where people are willing to give rematches. Now in the future we may end up, like, depending on how it goes, we may end up being more strict on it, whether we like absolutely make sure all the calls are being recorded or something like that, try and suggest software to download and stuff. But overall, I love the fact that people have been willing to give rematches and stuff like that to ensure that everything is as fair as possible. And that goes same with people doing skips as well. Like, when you guys, when people are like, oh, if you can't do that skip or whatever, then I'll try and teach you, or we'll just do a run that's not to do with that. I love that. That's fantastic. Yes, absolutely. So our race was absolutely crazy. We'll go back to talk about that a little bit. That was both of our first race, actually. That was I think it was the third match uploaded to the tournament, to the channel. Yeah. And it was Spyro 1, of course. And how do you rank Spyro 1 compared to 2 and 3? Like, would you say that you now would be good at speedrunning those games compared to the other ones, or what? Like, well, honestly, as far as speedrunning goes, I do think that 1 is my best game. In a way, it just depends on what I do in Spyro 2, because Spyro 2 is my favorite game as far as just in general. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is about it, but it's always been my favorite since I was a kid. But then at the same time, Spyro 1 has that nostalgic vibe that makes it a favorite, just in a different way, But speedrunning wise, like, I've noticed, because I've been just playing Spyro 1 for fun lately, and it's changed the way that I play it
2, and I'm like kind of better at it and quicker at it.
Yeah,
which
especially
has been cool.
all the skips and stuff like that. It is a totally different game. And that's what that's where the Reignited trilogy, especially from like a speedrunning perspective, is going to be really interesting as well, because I think the double jump glitch is going. You know, like I can't see them keeping that in. I mean, I know that some people some speedrunners may be annoyed about that, but like at the end of the day, like it was a mistake. You know, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. You weren't meant to be able to do that. So it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, Spyro 2 is going to feel the most different, I think, you know, with Reignited, just because of the fact that speedruns in the game are going to be totally different. All the people all the people that can do gulp skip now, they're gonna be like, no, I can't do it. Like it's gonna change speedrunning. But yeah, absolutely. Like our race was excellent, because I think like it was the second race for our group, and to have that kind of level of like controversy, especially when I put up on my channel and stuff like that, it's just fantastic. It's just so funny to see everyone, you know, everyone had an opinion, as you said earlier. Like everyone it felt down the middle, like in terms of like whether people thought it was like
it was pretty equal,
or rematch, whatever. There was like so many opinions about it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing. I know since then I've been able to make my footage better and stuff too, and also my emulator runs better too, when I'm recording than it did then, because I was just like, I mean, there were just some things that like were just almost pitiful, but that happens in almost every speedrun for me. It's like I'll practice it and I'm like, yeah, smooth sailing, and then I'll do it and it's like just the most like just amateur looking stuff that I do, and I'm like, oh my god.
And that's the magic of of like live competitive races, is that you basically you can be really good at the game, you can be amazing at the game, but you can still mess up, you know, like when you're playing it, when you only get one attempt and there's no redos, there's no resets like in typical you know, speed run of the game, you know, solo. You can't just start your console again and redo or reload a save state. You've got to get it first take. Otherwise, you know, you run the risk of, you know, becoming behind. So that's what's so good about it.
And something that can be seen in both of my runs against you, the original and the rematch, is if you die, you go all the way back to the dragon. And normally you don't think about that. No. There's a moth that just flew by me. But... It's in the footage, so yeah, it's there.
it's Kentucky right there. Kentucky.
It's the only reason I mentioned it, because it's just like in front of my face, like, okay. But yeah, and I didn't think about that though before when I was playing, because I'm like, you know, oh, I'll just run back and, you know, get back to where I was. But in a speedrun, it's like, oh no.
That's right.
Because it makes a difference.
Funnily enough though, in your run, you also used a death abuse, where that's actually what got you quite far ahead of. That's what got you actually ahead of me at a point. That's what's so good about that run, is that like I had gotten to Ice Cavern first and thought I'm gonna like slow down and try and get all the gems and stuff like that, and you, I think, took that as advantage, sped through, actually caught up by doing the dying bit where you could go back to there, got the thing, you didn't have to go back down again, and then you then you ended up dying again though, like not intentionally, and I think you know, partially from being like nervous. I think, you know, like especially trying to hit those lamps are like a real nightmare. And so I think that's what ended up doing you in. Like your speed actually caused, you know, a slight disadvantage in the end. It did. That snowball guy, I kept trying to I don't know if you noticed or not, but I kept trying to take him out and my flame never reached him, you know. And I was like, whatever, he'll be fine, he won't bother me. I felt like I did like 3 laps of that area, you know, the big area, like trying to like charge them all, you know, trying to be really fast, and it just didn't work. I was terrible. Yeah, he was just determined to like whack me with that snowball, and I believe he did that, and then I was just like, I got way too close to that center, and I just like I was into the purple goo, and I was like, oh no, this is so bad. That was for the rematch, for anyone not wondering. So yeah, I'll put links in the description to these races, because they're perfect to perfect to bring up. Definitely, if you haven't seen them, kind of sorry for spoilers here, but I think by now most people watching this have actually seen the runs. Right, yeah, because those were a little bit older. Yeah, I mean, yeah, only the third and like 12th run on the channel, you know, like pretty. I mean, I think we've done like over almost 50 runs now. I think so. It's on well on track. And so tournament in general. What are your thoughts about just, you know, what you've noticed from Group A and Group B, and just in general, what are you sort of apart from sort of Group C, notwithstanding, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, me bragging on my babes all the time. So I do enjoy all the speedruns, obviously. My favorite thing so far, honestly, has been in terms of, well, one, commentary. I think there's been some hilarious commentary in Group A and B. But also
the Alice Fisher race that's upcoming. That is insanity.
Oh, I'm ready for that. I'm so ready for that. Yeah. That's gonna be a good one. Yeah. But I like watching other speedruns because I've learned a lot from other people for what I can do, you know, especially in like Spyro 3, because like watching people speedrun Spyro 3 has blown my mind, because there are like these skips that, like, I believe, you know, there was one that in the Chris and Katie match that I had no idea about, the one where you like in the first homeworld, you fly up from the whirlwind.
I cannot do that. I
tried that. I've tried it 1,000 times since I saw that, and I'm like, I could not do this, so I hope no one wants to use that shortcut with me.
Yeah, I know. No, that one is agony. That one is absolute agony. Cannot.
But seeing runs like that is fun, where they're like, because there's a few just random. I don't remember. I can't remember exactly who they were, but I know for sure those two. Where they're just like neck and neck, but then also the runs where like people take different routes. Like I love that. Seeing both types, because it's like you've got that intense anxiety of like not knowing what's going to happen like either way, and I think it's very entertaining.
That's right. Yeah, no, I do love it when people have the same goal, and of course, and then someone goes into each level, and then you kind of got the variety on the screen where you've got like someone doing this and someone doing that, and it's so much to keep up with. But then like the Chris vs Katie run, you've got that classic thing where they're both doing the identical movements into the level and stuff like that. Actually, you and Ashley had that at the end of Glimmer, and then you hit into the portal, which was
I meant to mention that when I was talking about me and Alice's run, because it was so funny, because we were getting like the same exact Earth Shapers at the same time, which was so weird, because like we weren't really in line before that. Like I was actually in Fracture Hills first, but I died because I got ate by a freaking tree or bush or whatever. And so like we ended up being neck and neck for like that little period of time of getting the enemies, and I thought that was really cool, because I was like, what are the odds of that? But yeah, we like chose the same exact one, so it was pretty cool.
And that's the magic of the split screen, you know, as well, being able to see like some of the other speedrun tournaments that are not affiliated with us, like some of the bingo stuff. A lot of it's streamed on Twitch, and that's really cool. You have to watch it live, but I think the magic of these tournaments is that, you know, you can actually see both people's screen at once, you know, and go back and watch it whenever you want. And you know, the memories that are created are permanent. You know, so you can go back. Like I've been going back and watching some old speedruns, and it's just so funny, some of the stuff that I was in, and just calls and stuff. It's just brilliant. The old faces, the new faces. But yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to have you around. It's been great.
Thank you. And
can't wait to see more of your races. You've still got a few things to go up and stuff like that. You've got U vs Owl to go up. U vs Bronze is done. How many? Yeah. So what races do you have left? Actually, you tell me.
I only have Toto, which we know what we're gonna do, and H-Tails, and that's the only two like that I haven't done at all. I'm also rematching Al, like you said, and I have the rematch with Wally's going up.
Yeah, it should be going up soon.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Me and Max's race has to go up too. That rematch,
Yeah,
so.
I need to find the call audio to that.
Because we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So if not, I might just commentate over the race or something like that, and just be like, hey, cool. So we'll see. But definitely stay tuned for more Group C and Group A and B races. There's plenty going up. This was great. I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that we got to talk. And I'm sure that I'm sure you guys will, the viewers will enjoy this, a bit more in-depth conversation. This is good because it's, you know, one-on-one, you kind of get to go in a little bit more depth about some of your favorite races and not be inundated with, you know, plenty of other people talking and stuff like that. It's good to have a more intimate conversation, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
No worries, Noel. Thanks very much. And yeah, guys, we'll see you later with another edition of ISGP Talk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.